Okay, so get this. We're diving into AI supercomputers today. You know, the ones that help power all those mind-blowing chatbots and AI tools you've been hearing about.
Right.
Specifically, xAI's Colossus. And trust me, it really lives up to its name.
Definitely does.
And we're talking 100,000 NVIDIA Hopper GPUs all working together. And get this, they're already doubling it
Oh,
to
wow.
200,000.
That's incredible.
I know, it's pretty mind-blowing. We've got NVIDIA's press release on this beast. So let's unpack it all with you, actually. You can help us make sense of the tech and what it all means.
Yeah, absolutely.
So first of all, can you believe they built this thing in just 122 days?
That's amazing. That's really fast for such a massive system.
It is. It's crazy fast.
Yeah.
And they went from like the first rack to actually training AI models in just 19 days.
Wow.
So let's back up for a second.
Uh-huh.
What exactly are these GPUs everyone keeps talking about?
So GPUs, or graphics processing units, are basically specialized electronic circuits, and what they do is they rapidly manipulate and alter memory to accelerate the creation of images. They were originally designed for graphics rendering, as you might imagine with the name.
Right.
But it turns out that they're also incredibly efficient for the complex calculations needed in AI.
Oh, so they're like super-powered math whizzes.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
And xAI needs a lot of them, apparently.
They do, and think of it this way. Each GPU is like a mini brain.
Oh.
And they need to all work together to process the massive amounts of data needed to train AI. It's like, imagine trying to teach a computer to understand human language.
Right.
Which is incredibly complex,
Yeah,
so that's why they need so many.
Okay, that makes sense. So with 200,000 GPUs, we're talking about a network of 200,000 mini brains all working together.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty wild.
It's wild. They can't just be randomly firing off calculations, though, right?
Yeah.
They have to communicate somehow.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's where NVIDIA's Spectrum-X networking platform comes in. It's essentially a super efficient communication system that ensures all these GPUs can talk to each other quickly and seamlessly.
So it's like the central nervous system,
You got it.
keeping everything connected and running smoothly.
Exactly. It manages the flow of data between all 200,000 of these GPUs with incredible speed and efficiency. The press release mentions 800 gigabits per second port speeds.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's fast.
Meaning data can travel between these GPUs incredibly fast. But what's even more impressive is that it achieves zero latency degradation and packet loss.
Okay, hold on. I need you to break that down for me. What does that actually mean?
Sure, so imagine sending a message and waiting for a response.
Uh-huh.
Latency is that delay between sending and receiving.
Okay.
In a network with this many GPUs, even tiny delays can add up and slow down processing significantly. Packet loss, on the other hand, is like losing pieces of mail in transit. Spectrum-X ensures that data arrives quickly and completely, which is crucial for training these AI models effectively.
So it's like a perfectly synchronized orchestra with each musician, or GPU in this case,
Yeah,
playing their part flawlessly without missing a beat.
exactly. That's a great analogy.
I like that. So they also mentioned in the press release that this wouldn't be possible with standard Ethernet. Why is that? What makes Spectrum-X so special?
So standard Ethernet just isn't designed to handle the demands of a system as massive as Colossus. It would be like trying to fit all the traffic of a major city onto a small country road. You'd have constant gridlock and delays. Spectrum-X, on the other hand, is purpose-built for handling this immense data flow, allowing Colossus to operate at peak performance.
So it sounds like Spectrum-X is a critical piece of the puzzle here.
Absolutely, it is. It's the unsung hero, making sure that all of these GPUs can work together harmoniously.
That's really fascinating how they've managed to build such a powerful and complex system. But the question is, why? What's the end goal here?
Well, that's what we're going to explore next. The key lies in those large language models I mentioned earlier.
Mm.
Those are the real stars of the show, and Colossus is their training ground. Before we get into those large language models, I think we have to, stop and appreciate the sheer audacity of this project. I mean, doubling the size of a supercomputer that's already massive is no small feat.
It really is. I mean, what's driving this need for more power? Is it just breaking records? Or is there like a deeper purpose here?
I think it's more about pushing the boundaries of AI. We're seeing a real paradigm shift here, a fundamental change in how we approach computing and problem solving.
So it's not just building a bigger machine. It's about unlocking new possibilities.
Exactly. The real innovation is in the software, the algorithms, the applications that this incredible hardware makes possible.
Okay, you keep mentioning these large language models. Do you explain what those are and why they need a supercomputer like Colossus?
Sure. So large language models, or LLMs, are basically incredibly sophisticated algorithms that are designed to understand and generate human language. They're trained on massive amounts of text data, learning patterns, syntax, even nuances of human expression.
So it's like teaching a computer not just to speak our language, but to actually get it.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. And the more data these models are trained on, the more nuanced and sophisticated their understanding becomes. And that's where Colossus comes in. Its vast processing power allows XAI to train these models on an unprecedented scale.
Can you give us some concrete examples of what these LLMs can do? What are they being used for?
Well, you've probably already encountered them in your daily life. Those virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa, or those customer service chatbots that pop up on websites, or even those tools that can translate languages in real time.
So those chatbots that seem to get what I'm saying, even when I'm being awkward, are powered by LLMs.
Exactly. And that's just the beginning. LLMs can be used to generate different creative text formats, even write different kinds of creative content. They can even assist in scientific research by analyzing vast amounts of data.
It sounds like LLMs have the potential to change a lot of fields. I mean,
Wow.
from customer service to scientific discovery.
Absolutely. They represent a significant leap forward in AI, and companies like XAI are at the forefront with these ambitious projects like Colossus.
Okay, so LLMs are a big deal and they need a ton of computing power. But why double the size of Colossus? Why go from 100,000 GPUs to 200,000? What's the advantage?
Well, there are a few key reasons. First, it allows XAI to train even larger and more complex LLMs. Imagine a language model that can not only understand multiple languages fluently, but can also generate creative text formats like a seasoned writer.
That sounds like science fiction.
It does, doesn't it?
No.
But that's where we're headed. Second, this expansion means faster training times. With 200,000 GPUs working together, XAI can potentially train their models much faster than with the original system.
So they're not just increasing power, they're increasing the speed of development too.
Exactly. And that speed is crucial in a field that's moving as fast as AI.
XAI is clearly investing a lot in this technology. But what are they hoping to achieve? What's the end game?
That's a great question, and one that a lot of people in tech are asking. One of XAI's stated goals is to develop AI that benefits humanity. They're particularly interested in creating AI that can reason, learn, and solve complex problems.
So they're not just building cool tech for the sake of it. They want to make a positive impact.
That seems to be their goal. But of course, with such powerful technology, there are always concerns about potential downsides.
Like robots taking over the world. That's what Hollywood always tells us.
Right. While those scenarios are often exaggerated, it is important to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI. As we develop these powerful tools, we need to make sure they're used responsibly and for the benefit of everyone.
So it's not just about the technology, but also about the social and ethical considerations.
Absolutely. We can't just chase progress without thinking about the consequences.
This is starting to sound like a science fiction novel.
Right.
We're talking about machines that can understand our language, learn from huge amounts of data, and maybe even solve some of the world's biggest problems.
It's a really exciting time. We're at the start of a new era where AI will play a much bigger role in our lives.
Okay, let's bring it back to XAI and Colossus.
Right.
What are they actually doing with this supercomputer and the LLMs?
One of their biggest projects is Grok. It's an LLM that's designed to interact with information in a more human-like and intuitive way.
So is Grok like a super search engine or a research assistant?
It's more than that. It's
Yeah.
designed to understand the context of your questions, pull information from different sources, and give you answers that go beyond simple facts.
That sounds incredibly useful.
Yeah.
Is Grok available to everyone? Can anyone use it?
Right now, Grok is only available to X Premium subscribers, which has caused some debate about accessibility and the possibility of this tech being controlled by just a few people. That limited access, yeah, it raises some interesting questions about, who actually benefits from these big technological advancements.
But there's this amazing library of knowledge, but only a few people have the key.
Right. It's a valid concern, and it highlights these broader ethical considerations with AI development. As this technology becomes more powerful and influential, we need to make sure it's accessible and benefits everyone.
So it's not just about the tech itself, but about how it's used and who gets to use it.
Exactly. Fairness, transparency, accountability. These are all important things to consider. We need to have those conversations about the potential impact of this tech and make sure it aligns with our values as a society.
Okay, so back to XAI and Colossus. What are some potential real-world applications for Grok, assuming it does become more widely available?
Well, the possibilities are pretty huge. Imagine students having access to a personalized AI tutor that can answer questions, explain difficult concepts, and adapt to their learning style.
Okay.
Or researchers using Grok to analyze tons of scientific data, potentially leading to breakthroughs in medicine or climate science.
Those are some really impressive potential applications. It sounds like Grok could really change how we learn, work, and even solve global challenges.
It definitely could. But it's also important to remember that LLMs like Grok are still being developed. They're not perfect, and they can make mistakes or show biases based on the data they're trained on.
So we should be excited about the advancements, but also aware of the limitations and potential problems.
Exactly. We need to be a little skeptical and think critically. We need to know their limitations and make sure they're used responsibly.
It seems like the future of AI is a bit of a double-edged sword.
Hmm.
On one hand, we have this amazing potential to solve problems and improve our lives. But on the other hand, there are these concerns about bias control and misuse.
That's a really good way to put it. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're creating with our choices and actions.
So what can our listeners do to be informed about this whole AI thing?
Stay curious, ask questions, and talk about the ethical and social implications of this technology. We need lots of different voices and perspectives to make sure AI develops in a way that benefits everyone.
That's a great point. Well, it's been amazing exploring XAI's Colossus and these fascinating large language models. From the sheer scale of 200,000 GPUs to the ethical questions around AI development, we've covered a lot today.
And we've just scratched the surface. The field of AI is constantly changing, with new breakthroughs and challenges all the time. It's an exciting time to be following this, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Big thanks to our expert for guiding us through all of this. And to our listeners, keep exploring this topic, keep asking questions, and be active in shaping the future of AI. The story is still being written, and we all have a part to play. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive of Sex.